fail. We're gonna try to do it on our own because we're stubborn. Great, if that's not on the Navionics, what else is hiding? I can't really tell how deep these are. We're surrounded by all these reefs everywhere, and I'm feeling like this was pretty dangerous. What happened? What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sailing GBU. We are hitting sail today. We are pulling out our sails and we are heading to a new island, and it is called
the Bahamas.
No, it's not the Bahamas.
It's like the Bahamas, though. It's
Whoa.
like a faraway island that's flat. It has big sand shoal all the way around it. It has a barrier reef all the way around it, and it doesn't have like the elevation that obviously all the mountains here has. So I think this is like as close to the Bahamas as you can get. That ain't the Bahamas. We're gonna find out. I'm really excited. Looks like a beautiful place, but we're going to Anegada.
There's a lot of cool things there. There's shipwrecks. There's giant mountains of conch shells. There's so many cool things that we're gonna go see. So let's get to it. I can't wait to see what we're gonna see.
Yeah, it's a wide open anchorage, so I'm kind of like, oh man, it might be like crazy rolly. And then there's a little mooring field inside, but I always see like 50 boats headed toward it every day. It's really shallow, and where the mooring field is too. So there's some trepidation, but I think overall we got stern anchors, we got systems. I think we'll be fine. This is a busy anchorage, and there's like 15 boats going out the channel here, and obviously we don't have any turn signals, so I don't know who's doing what. So I'm just waiting for them to go in front, then I'm going to turn around behind them, start to let the sails out, and then we'll be hitting sail, because right now we're hitting motor. Kristen had a funny story when we were doing the anchors away. Obviously there's some boats kind of close around and stuff, so we pull up the anchor, I can see the anchor, I see it come up, and I go, okay, you're free. She's driving, she says, I'm free? What does that mean? And I say, anchors away. And she says, anchors away? What does that mean?
It sounded very pirate-like.
And I said, you're free to motor about uninhibited by the anchor holding you down. She said, oh, okay, cool. And then she proceeded to make fun of me in the headphones saying, anchors away, like a pirate for the next 5 minutes. She said, anchors away, matey. Arr. We should get microphones for our headsets, so that way you can hear all the heartache she puts me through when I'm pulling that poor anchor. Time to pull the head sail out.
Guys, I saw some kind of fish swimming next to the dinghy through the water, and I don't know what it is, and I'm hoping it's like a cobia. Matt's hurry up and putting down the line. Wish us luck. Wish us luck, sweet baby Jesus.
You gotta be like under the boat at this point. So the fish swam from chasing the dinghy to under the boat. So I got a pretty good look at it, and it kind of looked like a remora. It had a really big head and kind of like tapered off and got really thin toward the end of the, toward the tail fin. But we still got excited. We didn't know what it was. So of course Kristen, being the avid fisherwoman that she is, put a line in. But then I remembered, wait a minute, we're in the British Virgin Islands. We're not allowed to fish here. So I had to follow the rules and be a good boy and say, Kristen, put the rod away.
If it was a mahi, I might have broke the rule.
If it was a mahi, we could gamble for it, but I'm not going to gamble for a remora. And it definitely was not a mahi.
Pretty gusty out here, and we're speeding along. How fast are we going, Matt?
4.8.
We're going about 4.8 knots.
Right now, but we're going between like 6 and 4.8.
6 and 4. So we're speeding on our way. Can't really see the island too well because it's flat, but we should be getting there soon. We're at least halfway there.
You can see my head sail right here to the side. I got the whole thing out. We're ripping down the lane. The gusts have gone down to like mid 20s, 25, 26 for the afternoon today. So I decided let's put the whole head sail out because we're a little bit off the wind, so it's not too big of a deal. Love the sail. One really cool thing that Precision Sails did when they made it, which I've never really seen on a head sail prior to this one, is that they put those 3 dots there. I really don't know what they're for, but I just assumed they were reefing dots to kind of let you know what percentage of sail you have out. I don't know which ones, like the 135, the 110, the 150, I really couldn't tell you. But the way I use it is, if it's like 30 or above, I only go to the first dot. If it gets down in the 20s, if I'm going upwind, I'll let the second dot out. At anything under 20, I'll put the whole sail out and really try to rip it, depending on gust and point of sail. If you're pointing really tight into the wind, maybe don't let the whole sail out, but I love it. That makes it easy for me to kind of gauge how much danger I'm putting the dead dolphin in.
Don't mind Matt in the background. He's setting up his hammock that's already half ripped and he tied it together. He's probably going to plop on the floor, but that's besides the point. The water has turned to a very light blue, very Bahamas-like, and we can finally see the land. And this is a long island. I see a couple dark spots through the water, so hopefully it's deep enough, Matt, right?
I think it's deep
We're not going to hit no big old rocks, are we?
Now, as long as they look dark, they're usually pretty deep under the water. When they look like brown or yellow, that's when they're getting up closer to the top.
Matt's panicking and he's hurrying up and putting his hammock down.
Whoa!
We're going faster than we thought.
Yeah, I thought I had a little more chill time, but there are some rocks marked out on the chart, so I want to be hand steering. And I looked out and I did see some that look a little more formidable, so we got to pay attention now. So we're getting in pretty close to shore here, pretty close to where we're going to anchor. Still about a half a mile, but I think we're getting into Coral Head, Coral Reef area, so I want to be able to maneuver better. I'm going to put the head sail in now and start motoring. So now that I've got my chain in, I'm sure that this is pretty good holding here. What I do when I first put the anchor down though is I'll set the chain maybe with like 30, 40 feet out, and I'll put my hand on the chain. It's pretty windy here, so it's already backing down on the anchor, and if you put your hand in front of the chain where you tied it off, you can feel it vibrate, and you can feel it if it's jumping and it's not catching. If it catches and the chain's just sitting still as you back down on it, that means that you're probably just dug into sand and you're just pulling straight on the chain if there's no vibration in the chain. But if you feel the chain like jumping, you're probably dragging over rocks and you're probably not stuck yet. But now I think I'm stuck, everything's smooth, so I'm just backing down.
anchorage. We have eaten our lunch, and we need to get our butts flying on that dinghy because we are going to Conch Island. It's an island made out of conchs, and I know you probably think you saw it before out there, but no, I thought the same thing. This is like ginormous, like comes off high, taller than me out of the water, and it's like giant spots, and it's like a whole world.
Yeah, it's
of
like
conchs.
It's like conch mountains, as Kristen would say.
But the problem is, there's like no streets, it looks like, to drive there or get there, so we're gonna have to take the most adventurous dinghy ride of our entire lives. That's why I have my shirt on, because I'm not gonna get sunburnt.
It's the dinghy ride of all hell. From what I can muster, there are no roads because half of Anegada kind of looks like a tidal swamp. So there's no way to traverse it on foot. So we're going to have to take the dinghy, and it's a long, far bunch of mileage because the reefs are so crazy here that I wouldn't dare to take this boat very close to it.
Well, enough talking about it. We got to get going.
True.
It's going to be nighttime by the time we come back.
Might be either way. The sun's getting low. All right, so what's going to be really important here, since we're getting a move on to this grand adventure later in the day, is when I take my phone, I'm going to have to start tracking on my navionics so that as I'm going through earlier in the day, I can see the coral heads and dodge them. But as I'm coming back, it could be getting dark, so I'll be reliant on my instruments. I'll be flying by instruments only on the way back, maybe.
Back the same line.
Yep, I'll follow back on the same line that I came, and I'll make mental notes, and I'll say, okay, 5 feet from the rock there, bing, bang, boom, good. Because last thing I want to do is break my brand new outboard.
Big Daddy Captain.
Big Daddy Cap.
There's no alcohol in that.
That's just a toady.
This was a fail. We can't go that fast without completely cracking our backs in half and getting demolished. So by the time we'd get there at the speed we're going, it's going to be nighttime. So there's no point of going. So we're going to have to come up with maybe another plan. We might have to move the bigger boat closer and then go, but we tried.
And failed.
You're a little less.
I'm so... Gertie.
Since we couldn't make it to Conch Island today, we stopped at this beach that's right by our boat, and it's the longest white sand beach with clear water I feel like I might have ever seen. If you like to run or walk and you live on a boat, you have to come to this island. I feel like we could spend all night having the best sunset walks. The sand feels nice and soft.
So I got the dinghy up the beach, and as you can see, I'm breathing a little hard. And I just want to say, everyone has a conniption when I pull the anchor, which is really easy. Nobody ever says anything about pulling my dinghy up the beach and blowing my back out, where I feel like this is the one point I really could blow my back out. So come on, guys. Do you care about me or do you not care about me? All right, so we found this crab. He looks like he's seen better days. Really cool looking though.
I've never seen a crab like that.
Yeah, it looks like a miniature Alaskan king crab. And then we also found Bear stuffed stingray. I hope she likes it. Maybe we should wash it first, but it already smells clean, to be honest.
It was probably a baby's. What the heck is that? He's dead too? What the?
That's a strange crab.
I've never seen a crab like that either.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. If anyone knows what kind of crab that is, let me know.
His legs got eaten off.
Yeah, this something lives in there that obviously comes out and has a snack.
Why is it dead?
I don't know. Apparently these bad boys just walk up on the beach and die.
It's the next morning, and obviously yesterday we failed at getting to Conch Island, but we came up with a new plan. We are going to take our big boat over there within 2 miles of there and still have to dinghy there, but we think it's gonna be a better track. Now, most people don't dinghy to this place. You hire a guide and they take you out there, and I'm sure those are great. But we're gonna try to do it on our own because we're stubborn and we just wanna see if it's possible. The reason why we didn't take the boat closer the day before is because we didn't think there was a good anchorage over there to like spend the night and everything. So now that we have a full day of adventuring, we think we can get there, dinghy over there, see the conchs, then get back in the boat and then go back to an anchorage that's safe. So join us for this adventure. I hope this works out because I really want to see those conch mounds. Yeah, I said conch mounds. It's a thing.
I know that you might be thinking to yourself, why am I on YouTube watching a part 2 of 2 weary travelers trying to go see a pile of shells? And I'd be asking myself the same question if I were you, but stick with me. I have a feeling, usually I don't get too caught into like, oh, this would be cool to see, or like the whimsy of like a beautiful place. But to me, this just seems incredibly interesting. These people that live on this island, this is one of the biggest islands in, maybe the second biggest island in the British Virgin Islands, but it only has a population of like 200 people. So I'm guessing that over time they had to live off a lot of conch and like a lot of lobster and things like that. So that's why this conch mound was able to get so huge. So I'm thinking this might be the most epic thing on earth. I'm thinking it's going to be like amazing. I'm willing to go through whatever I got to go through to get there.
All right, we got our headsets on. I'm gonna be motoring up, and you're gonna pull that anchor up just like that. And we got our shades on, so we're ready.
So we can see the reefs.
Turning on the engine.
Back to the rules of the road problems. I had this catamaran behind me coming the opposite way out of the mooring field or from somewhere. Basically hit a donut right behind me and started coming up, catching up to me quickly to put their sail up so they could be pointing in the wind. You know, they came directly at me. They got about, I don't know, 100 feet away. So it's terrifying, and I gave way because I guess they're putting up their sail, so that makes them under sail. So it's crazy out here. It's crazy out here.
Alright, we've just hit our first obstacle. Luckily Matt's paying attention. It looks like there's another reef that's not even on the navionics. So you can tell by the white caps rolling over the top of it. And now we're kind of worried if that's not on the navionics, what else is hiding? So right now Matt's trying to, and I'm probably in his way, try to steer around some of this nonsense. Should I go up front?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Whoa, whoa. All right. I can't really tell how deep these are, but obviously those are dark. Uh-oh, waves. right, I'm heading back in. It's pretty rough out here. Last thing I want to do is fly off the boat. We're gonna have to completely go all the way out from the island and then maybe cut back in, because this seems too dangerous. It's not worth crashing on shoals to get to the conch island.
We're gonna be a different island. We're gonna be a tourist attraction pretty soon. We're gonna be the GBU wreck.
So we're pretty much getting to the spot of where we might put our anchor down. I started regretting this, and I started thinking this could be a mistake that we came out here because the current was against us. It was taking a long time. It's pretty choppy out here. We got to put our anchor out here, and I started second guessing the whole plan. But Matt told me it's part of the adventure, and we're committed. So let's see how this goes. So we got the anchor down. Matt's running in to jump down and make sure it's in good, because the swell could easily pop it. But I think we got behind a reef, so the swell's a little less. Still 2 miles away though to get there in the dinghy, but let's just hope that our anchor doesn't drag, else we're gonna go right into all these reefs. We're surrounded by all these reefs everywhere, and I'm feeling like this was pretty dangerous.
You to back down on it. So I'm gonna go like this, start backing down. Then when I wave it off, kill it, but make sure you pull the dinghy up close, okay?
Okay. All right, putting it in here. Here we go. What happened?
Good.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, it was already pretty dug in because it's not a ton of scope and it's windy out, so it was already pulled in pretty hard.
Okay, awesome.
You can go ahead and put it neutral and kill it.
Okay. All right, guys, we're off. We have jumped in the dinghy. Our boat is safe, hopefully.
Boat's safe. I wouldn't be leaving if it weren't.
All right, so confidence.
2.3 long miles through the chop in the dinghy to finish her off, because I can see rocks sticking out of the water, so I'm not gonna go in where I get stuck.
Bye, boat. Oh my God, guys, there it is. I can't believe we finally made it. It smells bad and it's crazy looking.
So crazy. So I gotta say, when you pull up to something like this many conchs, I can see it from like 4 miles away. So the visibility on this thing is like next level. And I look at all these conchs and it just makes me think about all the good people that got to have a nice meal and got to help feed their families. And yeah, I guess if you think about the plight of the conch, it is a little sad. There are a few, I'm guessing 100,000 out here. Has to be. But it's definitely a spectacle.
Feet going up off the water.
Yeah, it's a spectacle to be sure. And yeah, it's wild. It definitely was worth the trip.
This place is awesome. They did have rumors that this was like a burial site for the native people that lived here, I think they said. But someone, I think, proved that to be false because they tested some of the shells to see if there was bone or something, and they said no. Clear water and the pink shells, I feel like on camera it doesn't come up of how brightly pink and orange the shells are.
And to all my Uncle Matty fans out there, I'm sure you wonder why I didn't climb Conch Mountain. Just because if somebody did bury their mammy out here back in the day, I would hate to walk on somebody's grave. I sure as hell wouldn't want somebody walking on my mammy's grave. So, you know, we don't want to disturb the culture, so we're just gonna leave it be. But I did want to climb it. But I'm gonna be easy and respect a country's surroundings that ain't mine.
A stingray! Awesome!
That was a big old stingray, and he had 2 like giant needlefish. I'm sure they're called something else when they're that long, but it looked like needlefish.
All right, guys, luckily our boat was exactly where we left it, and now we're heading off because we're definitely not sleeping here tonight.
All right, so we've entered the downwind portion of the trip. It was a lot easier downwind of the dinghy, and now we're downwinding in the big boat. We got like 6-7 miles to go, but it's downwind, the current's running with us, the wind's running with us. Right now I have 0 RPMs going, and I'm going 3.5, just drifting downwind with the current. So a little bit of sail, a little bit of motor, and we'll be there and lickety split.
Sometimes love is a river strong, moving like a wave through a rocky river.
I know before someone sends me an article, I know you're not supposed to go like this, but really doesn't matter. I don't think so.
The back door of your heart. And every time I think of you, well, something happens in my mind.
We made it. I got a little bit of sunburnt.
She got hella sunburn.
I'm covering up now. Pretty tired. Forgot to take out meat for dinner, so we're just gonna head on to this little beach place that looks like they have some good food. But let's talk about what happened. We made it. We made it to Conch Island after all of our struggles, but we went through some dangerous times.
Yeah, we would not be denied. Basically, you can go and just hire a boat to take you out there, a speedboat, which I'm really glad I didn't do because even though it was really cool, it wasn't that cool. It wasn't cool enough to like go with a homie. I would have been really let down if he would have pulled up and said, "Oh yeah."
No, they do more than that.
They do more. But either way, basically how I feel is if you own a boat and you hire a boat to do a boat excursion, you hand in your captain card, little Waldy. So we went over there. We braved the reefs in and out. You could get the big boat a lot closer if you want to hack, but there are quite a few reefs, and the charts are inaccurate on Navionics for Anegada. I have a lot of there's full reefs, and it'll be marked as like a rock, but it's actually like a mile long full dry reef that you could walk on. It would be death to your boat. You'd be looking like one of those dumpskis that ran up on a reef. But either way, it was beautiful, and it was great to push out of my comfort zone and go, because about halfway there I wanted to turn around and come back, but I said, no, Matt, let's keep chugging. We got a bright sun, we can see all the reefs, and we're good. But that would be treacherous in bad weather over there. Treacherous.
I thought it was fun. I'm glad we went, and it feels great that we accomplished something.
And we saw a stingray.
And we saw a stingray.
And the biggest needlefish.
And
of all
I forgot to tell you guys while we were out there was like millions of crabs in those conch shells. And it was just so weird how they stacked up on one another. And like I thought they would the fishermen throw it up there and then they roll down and that the mounds would be like spread, but they weren't. They were very straight up, like they stacked really well.
Yeah, very vertical. You can stack up conchs pretty high. Kind of makes me think you could make a whole house out of conch shells if you really wanted to get buck wild.
Maybe. I don't know if the wind blows them down, but anyways, it stank. So I don't know if you want to live in a house full of stank.
Invest in some bleach if you want to do the conch house. Ooh, that was
anyways,
stanky.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. The adventure continues. Make sure you guys check out our t-shirts and also our Patreon. You'll see updates. We are trying to cook up some big ideas for this year of 2023, and the first to know will be our Patreon. So check that out. Anything else you got to say?
None but love for the homies. If you sat through this video all the way to the end, you earned your spot in heaven, according to old Matty J.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.